Hello and welcome to English Academy. Today we'll be studying this chapter, The Fun They Had, written by Isaac Asimov. This is in the syllabus of class 9 taken from the Beehive textbook. So, first of all, let us see the title, The Fun They Had. So, who is they here? They is the students of the past. And this little girl, Margie, is imagining that when the students went to a school which was a separate building and they all studied together from a human teacher, they had a lot of fun. So this story is set in the future, and so at that time they don't have these kinds of schools. They have mechanical teachers, which is very boring for this girl, and so she wonders that the students who were there in the past used to have a lot of fun. Let us read the story, we'll see the difficult word meanings and we'll also understand it. Margie even wrote about it that night in her diary. On the page headed 17 May 2157, she wrote, "Today Tommy found a real book." So real book here means a book which is made of paper, which is a printed book. Now the year 2157 indicates that it is a story set in the future. And Margie made a diary entry about it because she was very excited that day Tommy, her friend and her neighbor had found a real book made of paper. It was a very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. So this book which Tommy had found was very old, and Margie recollected that her grandfather had told her that when he was a child, his grandfather had told him that when he was a child, they used to have books made of paper. They turned the pages, which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen, Now, crinkly means having many folds or lines. As this book was very old, the pages had turned yellow and they were crushed. And it was very funny for them because as they flipped the pages of the book, it kept the same words on them because they were printed on it. These kids were used to e-books, and what happens in e-books, when you scroll the screen, the words change, and when you go back also there are different words on the screen. So they were not used to such kind of books which had the same words printed on them forever. And then when they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it that it had when they read it the first time. So they were very amazed because this book did not change. The words were printed on it. "Gee," said Tommy, "what a waste. When you're through with the book, you just throw it away, I guess. Our television screen must have had 1,000,000 books on it, and it's good for plenty more. I wouldn't throw it away." So Tommy said, "Oh my God, this kind of a book is such a waste of money because once you have read the book, it is total wastage. What do you do with it? Do you throw it away?" Because he says that our e-books, our computers can save almost 1,000,000 books and they have space even for more books. So he says that I would never throw away my e-book, but this paper book is quite a waste. "Same with mine," said Margie. She was 11 and hadn't seen as many telebooks as Tommy had. He was 13. She said, "Where did you find it?" So here we come to know that Margie is 11 years old and Tommy is 13. And Margie said that yes, my e-book can also save many books. And she asked him that, "Where did you find this real book?" "In my house," he pointed without looking because he was busy reading, "in the attic." "What's it about?" "School." Attic is the space just below the roof used as a storeroom. So Tommy said that he found this real book in the storeroom. Here you can see this is the storeroom. And Margie said that, "What is the book about?" And he said it is about school. Margie was scornful. "School? What's there to write about school? I hate school." Margie always hated school, but now she hated it more than ever. Scornful means contemptuous, showing you think something is worthless. So Margie did not like schools. And so she said that, "What is there to write about schools? I don't like schools." And she always hated school, but now something had happened which made her hate schools even more. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the county inspector. So county inspector is the person who will repair the mechanical teacher. Now there was some fault in her mechanical teacher, and the test which it was giving her in the geography subject were difficult for her, and so she was failing in every test, and that is why she did not like school. So her mother has called the mechanic. He was a round little man with a red face and the whole box of tools with dials and wires. So this is the description of this mechanic. He smiled at Margie and gave her an apple, then took the teacher apart. So this mechanic smiled at Margie, gave her an apple to eat, and then he opened the mechanical teacher. Margie had hoped he wouldn't know how to put it together again, but he knew how all right, and after an hour or so, there it was again, large and black and ugly, with a big screen on which all the questions were shown and the questions were asked. Now Margie hoped that he would not assemble the teacher back again, because if he would assemble it, she would have to study, but she did not want to do that. But after 1 hour, the mechanical teacher was back again in action. The mechanic had set it right. It was on, and the writer says it was black and ugly. Why? Because Margie did not like it. And then all the lessons were displayed on it and the questions were being asked by the teacher. That wasn't so bad. The part Margie hated most was the slot where she had to put homework and test papers. She always had to write them out in a punch code they made her learn when she was 6 years old, and the mechanical teacher calculated the marks in no time. Slot is a given space. Now, every computer has a different slots, and this mechanical teacher had a separate slot where they had to enter, where they had to put in the paper where they had done the assignment. And this was the worst part of studying from a mechanical teacher, and Margie did not like this. So she felt that this is so boring, and because she had learned a special computer language when she was 6 years old, she was supposed to write her answers in that language, and when she inserted her assignment into the mechanical teacher, her marks were calculated in very quickly. The inspector had smiled after he was finished and patted Margie's head. He said to her mother, "It's not the little girl's fault, Mrs. Jones. I think the geography sector was geared a little too quick." Geared means adjusted to a particular standard or level. So the mechanic tells Margie's mother that Margie was failing in the geography subject, but it was not her fault because her mechanical teacher had a defect and it was giving her questions of a higher level. Those things happen sometimes. I have slowed it up to an average 10-year level. Actually, the overall pattern of her progress is quite satisfactory. And he patted Margie's head again. Satisfactory means average. So he said that sometimes these mechanical teachers develop such errors, and he says that I have slowed it to the level of 10-year-old children, and he said that Margie's progress is satisfactory, and he patted Margie's head again because Margie was feeling very sad. She had been failing in the geography test, and this mechanic knew this, so he was trying to boost her. Margie was disappointed. She had been hoping they would take the teacher away altogether. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly 1 month because history sector had blanked out completely. So she said to Tommy, "Why would anyone write about school?" Now Margie was very disappointed because the mechanic had assembled the teacher and the teacher was working fine, because she had thought just like Tommy's teacher had started malfunctioning and they had taken it away for almost 1 month because the history sector, the history subject was not working. So she had also hoped for something like that and she could relax at home. But no, the teacher was fixed, and so she was very disappointed. And then she asked Tommy that what is so unusual about schools that they have written a book on it. Tommy looked at her with very superior eyes. "Because it's not our kind of school, stupid. This is the old kind of school that they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago," he added loftily, pronouncing the word carefully, "centuries ago." Loftily means in a superior way. Now Tommy knows something that Margie does not know, and so he feels very superior. And we can see that in his expressions of his eyes. And he tells her that the schools in the past were not like our schools, These schools were hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and they were very different. So that is why they have a book on it. Margie was hurt. Well, I don't know what kind of schools they had all that time ago. She read the book over his shoulder for a while, then said, anyway, they had a teacher. Margie was feeling very bad because of Tommy's behavior, and she said that, yeah, I don't know about the schools that were there in the past. She tried to read the book while he was reading it, so she was bending over his shoulder and she was looking into the book. And she said that, okay, the schools were different, but they did have teachers, right? So he says, sure, they had a teacher, but it wasn't a regular teacher, it was a man. Man? How could a man be a teacher? Well, he just told the boys and girls things and gave them homework and asked them questions. Regular here means normal or the usual kind. So, when Margie asked that they had teachers, so Tommy says that yes, they had teachers, but they did not have a regular teacher. So, regular teacher here, Tommy means a mechanical teacher, what they have. So he said that it was not a mechanical teacher, but it was a man, means a human teacher. So Margie is very surprised and she said that how can a man be a teacher? So he said that, yeah, he came in the class, he told some things to the students and they gave them homework and asked them questions on it. A man isn't smart enough. Sure, he is. My father knows as much as my teacher. He knows almost as much. I betcha. Betcha is an informal word. It means I bet you in fast speech. It can also mean I am sure. So betcha has two meanings. I bet you or I am sure. So Margie says that a man is not that smart as the mechanical teacher. Tommy said it is. My father knows as much as my teacher does. So a human has as much knowledge as the mechanical teacher has. And he says that I can even bet on it. I am so sure about it. Margie wasn't prepared to dispute that. She said, I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me. Tommy screamed with laughter. You don't know much, Margie. Dispute means disagree with. Now, Margie did not want to disagree with Tommy. She did not want to argue with him. And then she said, but I don't want that a stranger should come into my house to teach me. And then Tommy was in a fit of laughter. He started laughing and he was howling. And he said that, Margie, you just don't know anything. The teachers didn't live in the house. They had a special building and all the kids went there. And all the kids learned the same thing. Sure, if they were the same age. So he tells her that it was not like we have in our house only we have a separate room where a mechanical teacher is and that is our school. No, he said that the teachers did not live in the house. They were separate buildings where the students went to study. And then when Margie said that, did all the kids learn the same thing? He said that yes, students who were of the same age went to the same class and they learned the same thing. But my mother says a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl it teaches and that each kid has to be taught differently. Now Margie says that my mom has told me that each teacher, a mechanical teacher, has to fit into the level of each child and has to teach the child according to the child's abilities. So each teacher is customized. Just the same, they didn't do it that way then. If you don't like it, you don't have to read the book. So Tommy says that in the past they did not do it like that. They taught the same thing to all the children who were of the same age. And he says that if you don't like it, don't read the book on the schools. I didn't say I didn't like it, said Margie quickly. So Margie says that I didn't say that I don't like it. In fact, Margie is very much inquisitive and interested in the schools of the past. She wanted to read about those funny schools. They weren't even half finished when Margie's mother called. Margie, school. Margie looked up. Not yet, Mama. Now, they had not even finished half of the book when Margie's mom called her that it was time for her studies. And Margie looked up and told her it was not time because she wanted to read more of the book. Now, said Mrs. Jones, and it's probably time for Tommy too. So her mother again said that now go to your school, and she said that Tommy should also go home and study. It was his school time also. Margie said to Tommy, can I read the book some more with you after school? So Margie was very interested in the book and she asked him if she could read it after school. Maybe, he said nonchalantly. He walked away whistling the dusty old book tucked beneath his arm. Margie went into the schoolroom. Nonchalantly means not showing much interest or enthusiasm or carelessly. Now, Tommy was feeling very proud of himself, very superior because he had this real book with him. So he was not so interested in fulfilling Margie's desire, and he said, maybe. And he walked away. He was whistling, and he had kept this book under his arm, and he was very proud that he had this antique book with him. And Margie went into her schoolroom. It was a room right next to her bedroom, and the mechanical teacher was on and waiting for her. So this mechanical teacher has been kept in a room which is just next to Margie's bedroom, and it was on and the same time every day except Saturday and Sunday, because her mother said little girls learn better if they learned at regular hours. So every day except Saturday and Sunday, at the fixed time, Margie would sit in front of the mechanical teacher for her studies, because her mother had said that you should sit for studies at a particular time every day, and that will help you in studying better. The screen was lit up and it said, today's arithmetic lesson is on the addition of proper fractions. Please insert yesterday's homework in the proper slot. So there was this message on the screen that today we will be studying addition of fractions, and it asked Margie to insert her previous day's homework in the slot. So if any of you have enrolled in an educational application, so you all know that those kinds of lessons are also like this mechanical teacher that Margie has. Margie did so with a sigh. She was thinking about the old schools they had when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. Sigh is a deep breath of sadness. So Margie was very sad because she had to do this monotonous, boring study every day. And she was thinking of the schools they had in the past when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. All the kids from the whole neighborhood came, laughing and shouting in the schoolyard, sitting together in the schoolroom, going home together at the end of the day. So this is about the schools of the past, the buildings which they had called schools, where all the kids went, all the kids from the neighborhood went to the school. They laughed together, they shouted in the school gardens, sat together in the rooms, went home at the end of the school, and they all spent a good time with each other. They learned the same things so they could help one another with the homework and talk about it. So as the kids of the same age went to the same class and they studied the same thing, the same subject, they could help each other with their homeworks, and if anyone faced any difficulty, they could help each other also. And the teachers were people, the teachers were humans. The mechanical teacher was flashing on the screen. When we add fractions 1 by 2 and 1 by 4, Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. She was thinking about the fun they had. So her mechanical teacher is teaching her addition of fractions, but Margie is busy thinking about the schools of the past, about the fun they had, the fun that the children had in the past. So very interesting and a very relatable story, because we have seen the schools of the past also, and we have also seen the e-schools. I hope you have understood the story. If you have any doubts, please write in the comment section. If you like the story, please give us a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. And for more interesting videos, subscribe to English Academy.